Namaste everyone and welcome to Namaste Neighbor. Today I would like to discuss with you the term mantra. What does mantra actually mean? What is a mantra? In some instances, those of you who have heard the term before, is very loosely used, especially in this day and age, amongst many people as a word or a phrase that is repeated over and over. It's also categorized as a prayer that is chanted. And while these are very loose descriptions, they're not wrong, but at the same time, they are missing a wider scope of what mantra really means. A mantra can be something that is repeated over and over. And in terms of scripture and religion, Hinduism, that can be the name of God that is chanted over and over. It can be a specific sentence, if you will, that is chanted over and over. And it can also be a prayer, something that is asked of God or praying for something. But mantra is much more than that. There are different categories of mantras, first of all. So let's start with the actual word, mantra. Mantra is made up of two separate words. Man, meaning the mind, and tra. Tra means to free. So mantra means to free the mind, or that which frees the mind. The mind is free when it is able to be controlled. Now, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but in spiritual terms, that when the mind is a very powerful tool, and once you know how to use it, once you know how to train it, it leads to that spiritual freedom. And so mantra leads us to that not only spiritual development, but that freedom from attachment of the material world. So mantra is, just from the word itself, you can already see that it has a much wider definition, a much deeper meaning than what people tend to use it, or the context that they use it in. There are different types of mantras. Mantras can be Vedic. Vedic mantras, as the name suggests, they are prayers or chants that come from the Vedas or originate from our holy text, the Vedas, the original text. Mantras can also be what we call Lokik. Lokik means that they were made by great saints or scholars or very respected people in praise of God, and they were made right here on the earth, or formulated. They're also what we call Puranic. Puranic means that they originate from our Puranas. Puranas are another set of text that we have as scripture. So just to give you an idea, there are the 4 Vedas, and from the 4 Vedas, we have the 108 Upanishads that were written to help to explain and teach the Vedas. And from that point, we have what we call the Puranas, 18 main Puranas, and then there are many what we call Upapuranas, which means subsets. And from there, we have many other texts that come about. Most famously, we have our 2 main epics, Mahabharata being one and Ramayana being the other. And from these great texts, we have very popular texts that stem, such as Bhagavad Gita, which originates from the Mahabharata, or comes from the Mahabharata. We have Satnarayan Vrat Katha, which comes from Skanda Puran, and so on. All of these texts are filled with what we call mantras. When you combine mantras together, they form different, what we call vandanas, shloks, um, a series that describe or talk about a certain topic or deity. But putting that to the side for right now, going back to the categories of mantras, you can categorize them based on where they originate, where they come from. As I mentioned, Vedic mantras, Puranic mantras, Lokic mantras. And then from there now, they're the purpose, the motive or the purpose of the mantra. So some mantras that are chanted are for mainly what we call jap. Jap means repetition. They're used for repetition. And in another video, I'll explain to you what jap is in more detail and how to do it. The other type of mantra we call as prayers. They are prayers to God, either asking the Lord for something or praising the Lord. And then there are mantras which are actually formulas to achieve certain things or to accomplish certain things. And so mantras, while they can be prayers, which a lot of people used in that context, they're actually formulas that are either prayers or for other purposes as well. There are different types of mantras where they're very poetic, they follow a certain pattern. And then there are other mantras which are just pure sound. When I say that, I mean they don't have any literal English translation, or any translation for that matter, but the sound is attributed to certain energies. And we call these Bij mantras. Bij mantra, Bij means seed. And just like a seed of a plant, for example, a mango seed or an apple seed, in that seed constitutes the entire makeup of the plant. Everything is there. The trunk, the leaves, the fruit, everything that constitutes its makeup is inside of that seed. However, if you split the seed, you cannot pick out what is the fruit, what is the leaf, what is the trunk, and what is the roots. And so a Bij mantra is the entire power of the deity that it is dedicated to. And it is pure energy. The sound is attributed to certain energies that come from the particular deity. And so devotees, for example, you may have a mantra like Swasti Vachanam. Swasti Vachanam is a Vedic mantra. It originates from the Vedas, primarily Yajurved. So the mantra, many of you may know, goes something like, it goes like this, but the reason I say something like this is because depending on the training or depending on the branch of chanting, the mantra may take on a slightly different tone. But Swasti Vachanam as a Vedic mantra, Harihi Om Swasti Na Indro Bridhashravaha Swasti Na Pukha Vishavavedaha Swasti Nastariksho Arishthanemihi Swasti No Brihaspati Dadhatu. That is a Vedic mantra. And so there are many mantras like that. A Lokic mantra are mantras created by great saints, great sages, and that are more flexible in the sense of having tunes or making slight adjustments to them. Vedic mantras, you cannot do that with. So mantra like Nagendraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. That is the first mantra of the Panchakshara Stotram, written by Adi Shankaracharya. And so this is what we call a Lokik mantra. Puranic mantra is mantra that originates from the Puranas. For example, Namaste, Namaste, Vibhu Vishwamurte, Namaste, Namaste, Chidananda Murte, Namaste, Namaste, Tapo Yoga Gamya, Namaste, Namaste, Shruti Jnana Gamya. That is mantra that originates from Shiva Puran. And so these are different categories of mantras, or in terms of origination. But now in terms of type, the mantra can be for asking for something. For example, in Durga Saptashati, there's many mantras that we are calling out to Mother Durga and asking for certain blessings. For example, Rupam Dehi, Jayam Dehi, Yasho Dehi, Dvisho Jahi. That's part of the mantra, that's just one line, where we're asking for the Divine Mother to bless us with beautiful form, Rupam Dehi, Jayam Dehi, victory, for victory, Yasho Dehi, Dvisho Jahi, and with fame in our life. And so this is asking for something. Mantra of praise, which can come from any category of origination. Many mantras are like that, where we're just praising the Lord. For example, a very popular mantra, Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardana Jat pujatam maya deva paripurnam tadastu me. That is a mantra of praise. And Bij mantra of just sound energy is very popular one that you may hear, especially during Navratri. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundayai Pichai. These are what we call Bij mantras. That mantra, the majority of it, the first part especially, was all just certain sounds that are attributed to certain energies. All mantras can be chanted in repetition. Just because you repeat the mantra does not make it a mantra. Just because you say something over and over does not make it the mantra. Mantra is what it is. The repetition of it is called jap. Jap is when you repeat a mantra over and over. So for example, you'll see many, especially Hindus, Buddhist, and other religions as well, use the mala or the beads, the prayer beads, and they will chant. And they'll chant the same mantra over and over, and using the beads to keep count. It's much more than that. But that is what you call jap, not mantra. Mantra is the actual thing being said. The repetition of it, again, is jap. So really quickly to review, there are different types of mantras. You can categorize them by origination, where they come from, and you can also categorize them by type, what the purpose is for. So origination being the Vedas, the Puranas, the Lokik mantras, where saints and sages have written them as great philosophers or great poets. And then you have the different types of mantra, or the purpose and motivations behind the mantras, which can be a wide range, from praising the Lord to asking for something to tapping into just the energy of the universe. All are aimed for the same thing, which is to free the mind in certain respects or certain aspects of life in general, or in terms of spiritual development, moving up spiritually. And so the term mantra, though it is a very simple word, it has tremendous weight to it. It has a lot of meaning and depth to it. And you have to understand the context it is being used in. And so, devotees, I hope this gives you a better understanding, or at least piqued your interest a little bit more about what mantra really is. And when we use the term, we use it in its proper context and understand its deeper meaning. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, Namaste, neighbor.